ladies. I will do my best to flag it, okay? So let's start. We're going to do just a very quick warm up just to mobilize all our joints before we start our resistance work. So let's start. Feet hip width apart, standing on your mat. And the first thing I want you to do is to just lift your toes up off the mat, spread them wide, and press the pads of the toes into the floor. And you're just going to do that a couple times, just so we feel that we're grounded into the mat. We're then going to bend the knees and give the arms a little swing. And this is just to make sure we're completely relaxed. We've got no stress, no tension. And then we're going to place those hands onto our hips. From there, you're going to keep the knees bent and gently rock the pelvis forward and back, forward and back. And this is really to get a bit of movement through your pelvis, but also bring that awareness to your neutral position, which is like our halfway point, right, where our pelvis naturally sits. So I want you to find where your neutral is, okay, a bit different for everyone, and I want you to stretch those legs. We then imagine 3 circles, our hips, our ribs, our shoulders and our collarbone, and they all float one on top of the other. We can then relax the hands, close the eyes if you feel comfortable to do so, and you're just going to take a couple nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now as we inhale, we want to imagine the ribs swinging open, and as we exhale, it's like the waist narrows and the abdominals gently contract. And we're just going to do 2 more there. Big breath in, feeling the lungs, feeling the stomach, expanding the upper body, and then exhale. Waist narrows, abdominals contract. Last one here, big breath in. Exhale, feel that nice connection to breath and core. We're then going to open the eyes and just scan the head from right to left. So there's no stress, there's no tension. We just let the head glide from side to side. You're then going to finish your last one on your left and bring the head back to center. Imagine we have a little pen on the end of our nose, and you're just going to draw some circles leading with the nose. Just 3 to the right and 3 to the left, just to create a bit of movement through the base of the neck. We're then going to finish with the head to center, lift the shoulders all the way up by the ears, then exhale, drop them down the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. 3 more. And release. 2. Let go of any tension you're holding on to. Last one. And drop. From there, 3 big shoulder rolls backwards, opening the chest. 3 and 2 and 1. Hands go onto the shoulders. 3 big elbow circles. 3. Circling back. 2. Circling back. 1. Letting go of those arms. 3 big arm circles. Lifting the chest as we go. 3. Big stretch up. 2. Final one here. Big stretch up. We're going to finish with those hands up towards the ceiling. You're then going to try and touch the ceiling with your right hand, stretching through the side body, and then touch the ceiling with your left hand. The aim of the exercise is the higher that we reach, the more stretch we get through that side of the body. So we're eliminating kind of deep side bending postures, and we're focusing on lengthening the spine, lengthening the sides of the body. So once you finish your last one on each side, we're then going to interlace the fingers and take our hands behind our head. I want you to open the elbows really wide and try and keep your knees bent and your hips facing the front of the room. You're then going to rotate your ribcage to the right, and then you're going to come all the way back through center and rotate your ribcage to the left. Now, of course, if the hands aren't comfortable behind the head, you can cross the hands over the chest. Exactly the same thing. Okay, so choose the option that's right for you. What we're thinking of is we're not pushing to end range. So we're not going the furthest we can go. We're just gently mobilizing the back. And that's important, right? What we don't want to create is stiffness or inflexibility in our back. We want to move safely and fluidly without putting excess pressure or increasing our fracture risk. So you're going to finish your last one on your left-hand side, and then you're going to come to center and pop your hands down by your side, and you're going to do a little side bend to the right. So you're just going to slide your right hand down your right thigh, and then you're going to lift up, and then you're going to slide your left hand down your left thigh. So we're just gently moving our spine in all directions, okay, which is what we want to do. We're doing it in a nice, safe and controlled manner, right? So we're not throwing ourselves to the floor, we're just gently moving the back. and the body, probably no more than we would in our day-to-day. We're going to finish our last one to the left, and then we're going to finish the spinal action with a little circle. So for this, you are going to cross your hands over your chest. You're going to do a very gentle side bend over to the right. You're then just gently going to look down towards your feet, just softening the chest, circle over to the left, and then you're going to do a little lift of your breastbone, a little back bend all the way around over to the right. So you're just making a very small, very controlled and gentle circle with that upper body, okay? And the goal here is that we have control and flexibility in our spine without pushing ourselves through those end ranges, right? What we don't want to do is feel stiff. We don't want to restrict our movement when we don't have to, right? That's the important thing to remember. So if you haven't reversed your circle, then I would like for you guys to reverse it for me. Be mindful when you go into your little back bend, not to push your hips forward and sit into your lumbar. Imagine lifting out of your waistline and lifting your breastbone towards the sky. Once you've done 2 or 3 reps there, we're going to finish with the body and spine to center, hands on the hips, and we're just going to start by lifting both heels up off the mat and lowering both down. You know what I'm going to do? Because I've got these socks on, I can't feel the floor as much as I would like to. I'm going to get rid of them. So rising up onto the tiptoes and lowering down. So the aim is that we want to feel like we could spread our toes really wide and anchor through the feet. It's also great to engage the calf muscles, right? And all of the lower leg. So it's a really great exercise. It's also a little balance challenge. You want to make it harder. Of course, you can lift your hands up towards the ceiling. Oh, and lose your balance like me. Or you can always hold on to something if you need a bit of extra support. So there's plenty of options. We're just going to do 3 more here. Super gentle, 2. Good. Last one, you're going to see if you can hold it there an extra second. And release back down. So we're going to make it slightly harder now. I'm going to do a staggered stance. So you're going to have one foot in front of the other. Okay. Aim for the legs to be hip width apart. The narrower they are, the harder it can be. So if you feel that your balance is good, you're more than welcome to try it. You can use the wall for support if you need to. Same thing, we rise both. Oh my gosh, my balance today is terrible. I'm not a good example. Both heels off the mat and control them back down. So you want to really focus, find a focus on the wall in front of you. Think of those 3 circles, hips, ribs, shoulders, and collarbone we talked about. And imagine like your back's sliding up a little imaginary wall. Everyone's going to give me 2 more here. Goal, if you can, ladies. Good. Last one. Nice. Okay, so we're going to change sides. Goal with this second side is, it's very easy to go forward and to go back. To go forward and to go back. It's much harder to go straight up and straight down. So it means, right, my weight is balanced off both my feet, and you've got to really think of controlling your center. So there's no swinging, there's no rocking forward and back. It's like our trunk, right? Our body is solid and controlled, right? Offering us that support and that stability as we move. Everyone's going to give me 3 more here, and then we are going to grab hold of our weights. Good, guys. Once you finish your 3rd repetition, you're going to grab hold of your dumbbells for me. Good. Give me a thumbs up if we're good, or dumbbell up. It's probably the better. Exactly. Love it. So from there, guys, first thing we're going to do is we're going to march on the spot. And also, you know, I mean, you can wave your dumbbell as well. The aim is that I want you to get your heart rate up a little bit, okay? If you want to do high knees, of course, that's going to get your heart rate up even higher. If you want to hold your weights overhead, that's going to get your heart rate up even higher. So the goal is that we're going to be doing plenty of hinging movements. We're going to be doing squats. We're going to be doing lunges. And then we're going to finish with some good posture work on the mat. So we're going to do this for 10 more reps. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So from there, you're going to come and stand in the center of your mat, and you want to make sure that you have enough space in front of you and behind you, because we're going to do a forward and backward lunge, okay? We're going to use the same leg. So I'm going to start on our right leg and we're going to go forward. Return back to center. The same leg, the right leg goes back and to center, and then we change sides. So we go forward on the same leg, backwards on the same leg, and then change. The goal of the exercise is that we can comfortably shift our weight forward and back, keep our spine in that lovely long alignment, and strengthen the lower body, okay? If this feels easy peasy lemon squeezy, you can lift your weight up in the air and bring them down as you return to center, up in the air and back down, okay? So I want everybody to give me 10 more reps. So that's 5 on each leg, okay? And I'm going to come and have a good look and see what we're up to. Nice work, guys. Aim is that spine and neck stay really long. So tendency is to kind of look down towards the floor. Of course, if you're worried about where you're stepping, you can. But aim is to like eye line, look eye level. That's it. Really nice, guys. Once you've finished your 10 repetitions, no matter where you are, you can have a little breather. Just make sure you do those 10. Good, nice, Jane, with those weights overhead. Really stretch them, stretch those elbows. Yes, exactly. Good. Okay, you finished fast, like a whip it. She's done. Hip. Okay, be careful, okay? Okay, gang. So once we have finished our 10 repetitions on both sides, okay, we're going to move on. So our next one that we're going to be doing is going to be our suitcase squats, okay? So we're going to have our hands down by our side as if we're carrying 2 suitcases. We're going to bend from the knees, hinge from the hips. You notice my spine stays long, okay? My gaze stays upwards. Push the floor away. Easy peasy. We're just going to start there. Nice squat and lift. Now there's no correct position for your legs, okay? It's what works for you. If you're somebody who finds you can't get very deep in your squat, you feel quite restricted, don't be scared to open out the legs. Don't be scared to slightly rotate them either, ladies, right? Okay? Ground the feet into the floor, lower your hips and lift, okay? And the reason that we're holding the weights down by our side is that we want to maintain that lovely back, but also we want to maintain our shoulder position. Tendency is, as we squat, is to let this go, yeah? So let those shoulders hang. So you've got to imagine pulling the shoulder blades down the back, like you're squeezing a little newspaper underneath your armpits. Everyone's going to give me 3 more here. 3. Yes, guys. 2. Beautiful. Last one. Good. So from there, we're going to go into a single leg hinge. Now we're going to keep one foot on the floor for this because the aim or the goal is strength. So you're going to have your right foot forward and your left foot back. Now, I'm on the ball of my left foot and the knee is bent and my weight is over my front leg. From there, I'm going to place my weights on the front of my thighs and squeeze my imaginary newspaper underneath my arms. From there, I'm going to push my hips back and slide my weight down my leg, probably just to about knee. And then I'm going to press my hands or my hips into my hands as I stand up nice and tall. So my hands never, ever, ever lose contact with my thighs. Okay, and the sensation is the hips press back, spine is long, hips press forward, back into the arms, okay? So it gives us a really nice framework, okay? Nice, ladies. Now, tendency is to want to hold those weights there, right? Stretch those arms, keep them straight throughout. So you'll notice when I lower, slide, 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 my arms are nice and, yes, exactly, nice, Jane, nice, Sandra, and lift up, good. Tiny, tiny little fix. Slide and back. Everyone's going to give me 3 more here. Key to this exercise is the more you stick your bum out, the more we're going to load that glute and the more work we're going to get through that hip hinge. Nice, Marie. you've got to keep your front knee bent slightly. So instead of pushing back, which is correct, it is a hip hinge, but this becomes more of a lengthened position. You see my front knee is bent, and I push back there and lift. So the only thing that's happening is that movement from the hip joint, okay? So when we're ready, we're going to change sides. I'm going to come and have a look and see how everyone's getting on, okay? Yes, exactly. Much better, much better. Does it feel weird? So push that bum out as much as possible. Exactly. And lift. If in doubt, stick your bum out. Is it technical? No. But does it get the job done? Yes. Right? And that's what we want. Good, guys. Sonia, just be careful of your shoulders at the bottom. Really squeeze that. Imagine. Yes, exactly. Perfect. Good, guys. Press. So remember, this movement is our movement of longevity. It's the movement that's going to help us keep that beautiful neutral spine, allow us to lift, allow us to bend, allow us to do all those day-to-day things without increasing our fracture risk. So this is your golden move, right? Your number one exercise. So once you've given me about 2 more reps there, because I can't count and we've probably done 50 million, but perfection is in repetition, okay? You can give those legs a lovely little shake. And we're going to move into a little bit of upper body work. So we're going to have our feet nice and grounded into the floor, okay? Make sure you feel supported. Make sure you reset your circles, hips, ribs, shoulders, and collarbone. We're going to start nice and easy with a bicep curl. Super, super easy, yeah? Usually this is an exercise you can afford to lift a little bit heavier, right? Think of when you've got to pull your shopping bags out the car, 2 at a time. Yeah, we train for life, that's what they say. Now be mindful, what will tend to happen, especially when you lift a bit heavier, is the tendency is to sit into the lumbar. So it's that same principle, right? Knees are bent. We're grounded through our center. It's that feeling of zipping up. And if anything, your body is slightly forward. I kind of pitch my body forward in a slight hinge to counterbalance maybe that swinging back, okay? So everyone's going to give me about 3 more here, 2 more here, last one, and then we're going to do an exercise called My Fair Lady. So you're going to bring your elbows together and your hands in front of your face, and the elbows, ideally, can you see mine are in line with my rib cage? So I want you to imagine Eliza Doolittle with that massive hat, and I want you to imagine running your fingertips around the edge of your hat and squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then closing the hands back together again. And the arm open and close. So this is a big upper body exercise. We've got back, mid-back muscles. We've got chest as we close. We've also got shoulders. Now what often will happen as we get tired is those elbows want to drop. So no. Keep those elbows high. Imagine squeezing a pencil between shoulder blades when they're open and squeezing the elbows together as they close. And we're going to do quite a few of these until we get a nice burning sensation, right? Which is endurance. Okay, we're doing lots of repetition. So really the goal is building that endurance in our shoulders, in our chest, in our back, right? Good, we've got 5 more here. 5. And squeeze together. 4. Nice work, guys. And 3. Squeeze. Last 2. Connecting the shoulder blades to work the mid-back, connecting the elbows to work the chest. Last 1. Everyone's going to finish with their elbows together, and you're going to do little pulses upwards with the arms. 10 and 9. Squeeze together. 8 and 7, 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax and come back down. It's harder than it looks, that one. But we like a little burn. We want to feel like we've done something, right? Okay. So from there, we've worked chest and back. Now let's work your shoulders. So you're going to bring your hands down by your side, and we're going to open into a side raise. Now you'll notice that my arms aren't directly to the side. They're slightly in front of me and down. And they basically follow When we relax our arms down the side of the body, they sit in front and they basically follow that line. We call it the arc of the arm, right? In dance, takes me back to my ballet days. Arc of the arm. Now the aim here, again, this is an exercise that has a tendency to want to pull back, especially when it gets heavy, okay? And you don't need a lot of weight in this. You've got to remember, right? When we're holding an object further away from us, that load, I think, is something like 4 times heavier. Could be wrong. That's physics for me. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But in other words, it's much heavier the further that we hold the weight away from us. So we want to just be mindful of how much we lift. We're mindful of keeping our center strong, right? Staying grounded and rooted through the floor. We should get a nice work through those arms. We're going to do 4 more here. 4 and down. 3, and we hold it there an extra little second. 2 and down. Final 1. Last one. Hold it here for 5. 4. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Release and come back down. Have a little second. Now we're going into a front raise. Now, for this, weights come into the front of the body and we lift them forward. Now, you can stop at shoulder height, but if you can go a little bit higher, I don't mind, as long as it doesn't compromise your body position, right? Again, it's like we've got our imaginary corset on, where we wrap the abdominals around and we zip them up, pubic bone to sternum. So we're lifting the weight shoulder height, we can go higher and down. So this is really targeted at the front of our shoulder here. And the great thing about all these exercises is they work our rotator cuff. Huh? That magic word, rotator cuff. And I'm sure a lot of you have either heard of it, or maybe you experienced a little bit of pain or discomfort in it. And the important thing to remember is, if you want to work your rotator cuff, any exercise that works the shoulder works the rotator cuff. So that's the magic sauce, right? And these are fantastic for them. Side and front raises. We're going to do 5 more here because it's tough stuff. Remember, you can lift them as high as you can maintain that body position. What we don't want is swinging, right? We want control. We want stability in our center, okay? That's the goal of Pilates, right? Is that this is stable and solid to support the spine and the back, so we can move the arms with control. Last 2 here, breathing. Beautiful, last set. Hold it in front of you for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And come back down. Okay, guys, so we've got 4 minutes. Let's come and sit ourselves down on the mat, and we'll just do some little arm stretches and a little back release. In fact, I'll bring you all the way down with me. Let's come and lie on our front to begin with, okay? If you've got a little cushion for your head to support your spine, then you can, of course, use it. I like to rest my forehead on it. Keeps the neck in line with the spine. Now, my legs are a nice comfortable distance apart. Doesn't help when you have a black mat and black leggings. So I've got my legs comfortable distance apart, forehead on your cushion, elbows bent, forearms on the mat. And we're just going to start by lifting our breastbone off the mat and lowering it back down. Now, the goal with these exercises is to extend the upper back, right? To increase that flexibility in our upper spine, okay? But also it's working our lumbar, okay? The lower back is the muscle group that does the most action. So if you're lifting up pretty high, you can bet your bottom dollar it's your lumbar doing it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is natural. What we want to encourage is the fact that our spine is super strong. It is anti-fragile, right? We are super strong, we're super capable, and these exercises are going to help to fortify it and strengthen it. So previously you might think, oh, this is not a good exercise for me, okay? And when you first start out, it might be a very small lift. But it is essential that we try these exercises because these are the ones that help to strengthen the muscles that run down the spine. So once you've finished your last one here, you're then going to prop yourself up onto your elbows and we're going to do a baby cobra. Now, this should be pretty comfortable for most people, okay? What often will happen, or the reason it's not comfortable, is because the shoulders tend to sink. So a little exercise is I want you to just push your forearms into the mat, feel your shoulder blades spread apart so your back is really wide, and then relax it back down. So it's kind of like little shoulder shrugs. And what it's teaching us is the ability to stabilize our shoulder in this position. And that's important, right? When we do planks, when we do push-ups, when we do the much more complicated repertoire. So if you struggle with those, you get a lot of pain and you can't find it, this is going to be your exercise. This helps work those muscles around the shoulder blade to help stabilize it, okay? So super, super important to understand this action in order to get all those more complicated ones. And you're going to finish your last one with your back in that beautiful wide position, with your shoulder blades away, with your hands on the mat. And I want you to think of zipping up from your pubic bone to your belly button, reaching your chest towards the front of your room, and just take 3 nice deep breaths in here. And feel that expansion in the chest. Feel that lovely position to counterbalance all that forward bending. You're going to give me your last breath here. And then you're slowly just going to control the chest down towards the floor. And then I want you to sit yourself back into a child's pose. So knees are nice and wide. You can sit your bottom on your heels and walk your hands forward. Now, this position, super, super amazing for releasing your lumbar. So I want you to relax here. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to take some nice deep breaths in and imagine that breath flowing into your lower back. Right? We have spent time on our front and it's good to release the back afterwards, okay? The forehead can rest on the mat, there's no stress or tension. The further you reach your hands away, the bigger stretch you're going to feel. So I really invite you, reach as far as you possibly can. Last 2 breaths here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Final big breath. Then when you're ready, you're slowly going to walk your hands back towards your feet. You're going to stand yourself up 1 foot at a time, nice and controlled. And we're going to finish the way we usually do with a little balance. So you're going to bring your heels together and your toes apart into... I'm too tall, huh? It's the only thing. I wish I had some sort of cameraman, you know, on hand to adjust. Yeah. Heels together, toes apart, ladies. Imagine you've got a £50 note between your butt cheeks and you could hold it there. So we engage those muscles in the glutes. You're going to lift those heels up off the mat and you're going to hold that balance, £50 note in place. You're then going to float your hands up towards the ceiling. And I want you to imagine those 3 circles, hips, ribs, shoulders are stacked. Now, if your balance is good and if you feel comfortable in this position, you can close your eyes for a second, but don't if you're wobbly, okay? Hold it there a second, and then as you open your eyes, can you keep your balance? Can you press down your hands, your shoulders, and your heels? Can you take a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth? You guys are all done. Fast and furious today.